Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And today, welcome to another edition of a happy hour. As always, if you do choose to drink or whatever you're doing, please do so responsibly. Also, we're not sponsored by anything we've mentioned in here. If we don't say we're sponsored by, we're not currently sponsored by. So, Samantha, what are you sipping on?
I am keeping it real wholesome because, again, I am older and sleepier when it comes to adult beverages and doing a cranberry ginger ale.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Thank you. What about you?
Sounds nice. I'm just doing a light beer. I told Samantha I'm trying to free up some space in my fridge. It is very packed in there. It's kind of a whole thing, but
I was going to ask why, but okay.
It's a whole thing, Samantha.
It's a whole thing. We're going to leave it at that. Gotcha.
Yes. This will be a shorter episode, I think. I hope. Because I actually planned this before I knew this, but super producer Christina is going on vacation.
On vacay.
Hopefully. And there are a lot of events happening in this next week. A lot of events. So I thought we would just do kind of a rapid fire check-in. If you have plans or not about them, don't worry. We'll go through it, Samantha.
I was like, do you see my face just getting real confused? I'm like, we're doing things? I know we're doing things on Saturday. That's all I got.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll go through it. I did want to start, before we get into that, though, with something that happened. I have a lot of friends who have birthdays around this time. And I took a good friend of mine, Katie, who's been on the show. Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Yes, I took her to a nice sushi restaurant. And we were waiting for this one very loud patron to leave. And it was interesting to see this in the wild. But he was like loudly and unapologetically asking where he can find some MILFs.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then he was like, well, I also like redheads and my friend is redheaded. So I was like, oh my gosh. And he was like clearly making everybody pretty uncomfortable. Didn't seem to pick up on it at all. So that was interesting. But then me and my friend were so embarrassed for him that we were trying to be like the best people that have ever come to this restaurant. Like, we're not going to be annoying at all. We're not going to, to the point, I think we like made, everybody was a little worried about us because we were so like, thank you. Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. No.
They're like, are you with him? What's happening?
I know. But then I ended it by telling the chef, because it was, again, a sushi restaurant, that sea urchins wear hats. And I think he thought I had lost my mind. So I ruined the whole thing. The final, we were right at the finish. And I just couldn't resist.
They
do wear hats.
I mean, I believe you.
It's super cute.
If anybody knew, it would be you.
Yes. See our Savor episode, or also just look it up online. It's really cute. So that was something that happened. I also told Samantha I was at a mingling event for work that I was very awkward at as well. So clearly still trying to figure out how to function in society after the pandemic.
Fair enough.
Yes. But one of the things, as you mentioned, in this kind of round of events that are happening is Lunar New Year starts this Saturday, the 10th, February 10th. And we are going to hang out that day. Yes,
this
could be your chance to be like, nope.
Let me back it up. Just kidding.
Yes. So what are you planning, Samantha?
So last year we ended up having a Lunar New Year dinner with that combined with The Last of Us watching. And so we had a lot of people over. And I was really excited to celebrate Korean culture. And I made the Korean New Year's soup, which has the tteokbokki that is circle shaped, like coins. And I was very proud that I made that. So I'm planning to make that again. And then all the traditions with the noodles. sukjapje, as well as bulgogi probably, and of course kimchi and all the banchans that I like to make to add to it because there's a lot of cultural superstitions with that. So we're going to do that. I was thinking of doing a little bit of like the Chinese New Year tradition of getting the red envelopes with $2 bills, but I don't think that's going to happen. Sorry.
It's okay. it's a lot of work.
I think we were going to also try to do a little bit of the Mardi Gras by doing a king cake. I would really like to do that because it follows very closely to that. So I was like, might as well combine the two.
That's right. That's right. That's also on my list because Mardi Gras starts on the 13th.
Correct.
Yes. So I'm very excited about this. I always love when you make food and I appreciate it. My friends and I usually go get dim sum sometime during Lunar New Year.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And they're texting me about it currently. So that's exciting. There is Mardi Gras. I normally make a very easy version of gumbo during Mardi Gras.
Right.
Do you do anything as the king cake like your...
So I've never done things for Mardi Gras. That's not a thing that I have actually looked at as a celebratory thing. So we probably won't outside of... I was just doing that because that seems like a fun thing to do. Never done it. Last year, you gave us a leftover king cake, which was rude. I'm just kidding. It was exciting.
The baby, in a big piece.
The baby had already been dug up.
I think the first person who had a piece got it.
Yeah, but then he left it, so I claimed it, and it's scary looking. That's all I have to say about that.
It is scary looking. Do you think that the luck transfers in that way?
I don't know. I feel like he at least forfeits it if it's given away, right?
I would think so, but
he was a little upset, and then we had a back and forth, and he tried to steal it. I actually don't know where it is. Did he steal it?
Oh, we have to do some investigating.
And we might have to.
Yes. So Mardi Gras usually happens during when all my friends are having their birthdays. So that's a big tradition for us, is we get the king cake. I do the gumbo separately, but the king cake is a big piece.
You do that separately, yes.
Yes. So many of these are food based, I'm realizing, because the next one is the Super Bowl. The big game, don't sue me. Which I don't really watch anymore. I used to watch it, but now I just eat the food. So chicken wings.
It sounds almost like chicken wings.
Yes. I used to do much more. Like I used to do like guacamole and all the dips. You know, you got to have your dips.
The dips is what I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about the spicy buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, yes.
When I think about that.
Oh, that is so good. I went to one once where there were like 3 versions of that, a Super Bowl party, and it was the best.
Yeah.
Also, on the 13th, Galentine's Day, which I feel like Samantha and I, we used to do Galentine's Day, Valentine's Day together pretty regularly. Normally, if I am just by myself, then I maybe will make a steak on Valentine's Day, and that's it. But when I was a kid, my mom used to make me these really nice, flowers made of tool paper. And so I have fond memories of Valentine's Day. But the steak is nice. It's like a nice excuse to eat steak.
We accidentally came together for Valentine's Day. I think we tried to make it a tradition out of that because we were at the conference.
Yes. It wasn't purposeful, but
right. Which I still loved and I was very excited about. So don't get me wrong about that. But yeah, a lot of the things that we end up celebrating that ends up being tradition ends up being, I don't think about it, but you think about it. And I'm like, yeah, we do that. And then it becomes tradition because I'm not as sentimental because I don't think about that because I don't do many things for Valentine's Day. People send me gifts
Mm-hmm.
And I send it back. I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then that's the end. But like, I don't do much for Valentine's Day either. Last year was the first time that my partner and I went to dinner. And it's because I just wanted this one place for dinner. And the like set menu looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the end of that. But like outside of that, I don't think we've ever celebrated. And because you were like, let's do it, I was like, yeah, because I don't do things on my own. Things like that. Traditions are very, very odd to me.
I think that's interesting because to me, like, it's like both. I can see the sad part of it and the happy part of it because it's kind of sad that I'm like, I can finally have a steak. But a steak, is kind of a special occasion food.
It can be.
But it's also like, I can finally go to this restaurant. Like, if you want to go to a restaurant, you should go if you can. It's interesting how many things I've built up into. Alas, finally my time to have this thing.
Yeah.
But it is also nice because it kind of makes it special. Because I am a very tradition, like I pass time in this way. I have on my calendar, like buy groceries for this meal on this day. Like I'm just very in that mindset. And I've talked before, like dates are a big thing in my head. Like I'm like, this date, I remember this date and this date. So it is interesting to me that you and I are very different in that way.
And it's not a bad thing at all. It was just like absolutely a thing like in my, like this is my least attachment thing. Like it has a lot to do with our childhoods that you thrived in adventure and imagination. And a part of that is like building in the traditions and the sentimentality, as where I grew up in survival mode constantly of like, I gotta lie to get through this. And I gotta make up just to be like, I definitely had a family. Yep, I knew that girl. And I didn't. And I did. Like I did that in the orphanage. But like coming out of that and then coming to the US where they also had traditions and it was very, very heavily influenced with religion, that I was like, I don't know what's happening. And also this didn't exist in Korea, so why does it exist here type of thing? Because being in an orphanage and you get, and like a lot of systems here, but you get like yelled at as part of your birthday present with maybe a cookie. Or they didn't even celebrate your birthday because they didn't really know your birthday in the story. So stuff like that is just very much like, huh. And which of like, I try to rev myself up in the sentimentality and then I get really disappointed when it doesn't meet the expectations of what I thought it was supposed to be. So I just gave up, which is really sad in itself. But when someone else does it for me, I am more excited about their excitement than anything else. So that's why I think I'd latch onto what you do. I'm like, yeah, that's wonderful. I love this. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because so many of the things, like again, going back to the, like, it's kind of sad, it's kind of happy. Like literally, I'll be happy if I have a steak on Valentine's Day. Like the literal by myself, like leave me be. It will be a great time.
Right.
It helps me. I think traditions for me help me feel like I'm passing time. Like I feel like, okay, this is over. Now I move on to this. So this week is just a ton of them, like this whole coming week. But I would love to know, listeners, like if you have traditions, if you're celebrating any of this, if you're confused by any of this.
It's like, what's wrong with you?
All good. Just let us know. You can email us at stephanie@momstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can find us on Twitter at momstuffpodcast or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff Mom Never Told You. We have a TeePublic store and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.